I hope you enjoyed the video of the Lewis and Clark Memorial Museum and another view of the Dignity statue. Now on to St. Joseph's School and Museum, which is called, I'll put it on the bottom and you'll see the sign. So I'm leaving the Lewis and Clark Museum where the Dignity statue is and driving into Chamberlain, South Dakota. It's a very cute little town and there is a quilt shop, which I'll put in another video. The Acta Lakota Museum and Cultural Center opened in 1991 on the campus of St. Joseph's Indian School in Chamberlain, South Dakota. The words Acta Lakota, meaning to honor the people, were chosen because the museum is truly intended to honor and preserve the rich culture of the Lakota people, the students at St. Joseph's Indian School, and for thousands who visit the museum each year. The facility is more than a traditional museum. It is an experience that provides visitors with living lesson on the Native American way of life, both past and present. The museum is a tribute to the Sioux Nation and offers visitors a rare and fascinating glimpse into the Lakota culture. Since the museum's opening in 1991, thousands of people worldwide have been captivated by the unparalleled style, scale, and richness of the facility and its displays.
So this is the Star of Hope. It was built by a couple of gentlemen who used to work here, and actually the gentleman who came up with the design has passed away. But there was a lady here from the Navajo Nation, and she told me if it's like this in the Navajo Nation, they call it soaring swallows, which it kind of does. This kind of looks like, you know, birds flying. It's a star quilt, which is really important to the Native Americans, and like a star quilt is given away for, you know, special ceremonies, graduations, weddings, funerals, something like that.
Thank you, Wanda. I appreciate that.
Visitors are taken on a visual journey through the proud heritage of the Sioux and into the excitement of contemporary Sioux art. The Acta Lakota Museum is the only Native American cultural center of its kind. The facility is more than a traditional museum. It is an experience that provides visitors a living lesson on the Native American lifestyle.
That one's made, looks like satin. Star quilts are very important to the Native heritage.
Euro-American missionary settlers brought quilts to the Great Plains. Lakota women adopted this art form and made extraordinary quilts that reflect their unique perspective. The 8-pointed morning star, which separates the darkness of the light of the new day, became the most common symbol on the Indian quilts. Star quilts eventually replaced the buffalo robe at baby naming ceremonies and were inaugurated into the traditional Lakota ceremonies, rites of passage, and community celebrations. The other side of the gift shop, of course, they have a quilt, of course. Golden eagle and a bison, Tatanka. Not a buffalo, but a bison. My son-in-law said the scientific name for this animal is bison, bison, bison. No buffalo there, and the Indian name is Tatanka.
This area represents the typical Native American village, and their structures, their cooking pots, tanned hides, and their villages. The warrior's best friend was his horse. The warriors developed a close bond with their horses.
Horses changed the way of the Lakota traveled, hunted, and fought their enemies. Horses replaced dogs, pulling their travelways when the camp moved. These were toys, children of the plains toys. These are girls' things, women's things. war shirt for a man. When Lewis and Clark described the everyday attire of the Plains male, they made no mention of the best-known article of Plains Indian male dress, the war shirt.
It's possible that Lewis and Clark never saw the war shirts. The natives may have been at peace at the time and not battling with other tribes.
Fur trade. Beginning in the 18th century, British and French fur traders brought the outside world to the Lakota. Euro-American traders negotiated with the Lakota for pelts, hides in exchange for goods, and knew them. Lakota camps filled with iron kettles, guns, steel knives, needles, sugar, tobacco, coffee, metal arrow points. Indians modified these goods to meet their own needs. Files were heated, bent to form fire. Steel cinches were made into hide scrapers. Nails were sharpened to form awls. The Europeans did not introduce trading to the Indians. North American Indians had long-standing trade relations with each other. Piped stone from Minnesota, lead from Illinois, and cowrie shells from the northwest coast. Santee Sioux birch bark canoe used in eastern Dakotas 1870 to 1880. Clothing and items change over time. Prior to their contact with the Euro-Americans, the Lakota decorated their clothing with natural materials, flattenwood dye, porcupine quills. Natural dyes were used to create designs. By the 1880s, glass and beads were introduced to the Lakota. The women quickly integrated their new material into clothing, personal possessions, creating complex designs. The Reservation Era. After the buffalo disappeared, Indians became dependent on the U.S. government. Issues of fine food and supplies, beef issue, Pine Ridge Reservation. They also have an art exhibit in the museum by local artists.
If you'd like to learn more about the Atka Lakota Museum and Cultural Center, please go to their website. And they also accept donations. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay crafty when visiting the Atka Lakota Museum and Cultural Center. Thanks for watching.